Welcome to Tales from the Comments. My name is Scott, and I hope you guys had a great weekend. And if you're in the United States and celebrated Thanksgiving last week, I hope that was good to you. I know I had fun eating lots of delicious food. But now, let's talk about some of your guys' comments on last week's Aquaman video. So overwhelmingly, no surprise, the #1 comment on last week's video was about my stance regarding Aquaman's ability to talk to fish. I say that he does not talk to fish, but he commands them. A lot of you guys just straight up wrote that I was wrong and that he does talk to fish. Kyle Sousa and Mopee himself actually wrote interesting comments saying that commanding them is talking to them, right? Like, there's no difference there. Commanding is a form of talking. And before we get into this, I just wanted to say that this is an entire episode all in itself, and I mean that 100% literally because it is on next year's schedule for future comic misconception, so we will be doing a full video about this, but I just wanted to get my views about this topic out of the way right now just to clear some stuff up. So I see a distinction between commanding and talking. Like, I use this example of my dog. If I tell my dog to sit, I'm not talking to her, we're not having a conversation, I'm just commanding her to sit, and I think there's that distinction there. But there's a slight difference with Aquaman in the fact that his powers are telepathic, so he's not verbally speaking to them. I mean, there are instances where it shows that he's verbally speaking to them, but I always interpret those to be like a visual shorthand for us readers. He might be talking aloud, but the fish aren't hearing it and then instantly interpreting the English language to understand what he wants them to do. It's more just like a way for us readers to understand, all right, this is what he's commanding them, but it's not literally what's happening. It's the same thing I talked about with the Daredevil video that we did, about how Daredevil's radar sense is portrayed in a way that's easy for us to understand, but not necessarily accurate for how Daredevil actually interprets the world. So those are just some thoughts about the subject. Again, this is an entirely separate video all in itself that I will do in the future, so look forward to that. And I'm gonna hold my ground in the meantime. I still think Aquaman does not talk to fish. He commands them, as he himself wrote in the comments of last week's video. Deepak Shetty and a few others brought up the Throne of Atlantis animated movie, which shows at the beginning very explicitly Aquaman talking to a lobster. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say I don't like this movie. We've talked about it before. We did a whole podcast about it. We actually got a copyright strike for talking about this movie, so it's been just a disappointment on all sorts of fronts. But yeah, I don't like this interpretation of Aquaman. I think they got the character completely wrong, so yeah, doesn't count in my head. I pick and choose my canon. Moving completely off of that subject onto something else, Mambo Lito brings up an interesting point about how Orm in Swedish means snake. And you'll remember from the Justice League animated series, Orm is Aquaman's brother who trapped him on a rock with his infant child and was basically responsible for Aquaman cutting off his arm indirectly, but still counts. And the fact that his name means snake is something that's really, really interesting and actually could be the topic of a future alter ego video, so thanks for that. And speaking of that Justice League cartoon, it seems like a lot of you guys prefer that as the story of choice for how Aquaman lost his arm. And I would have to say, yeah, I kind of agree with this, because in the cartoon, it meant something, right? He sacrificed a part of himself to save his son and also the world as a whole by stopping Orm at the end. But in the comics, it just felt like a tag at the end of a story that had nothing to do with the story itself, and the writers just did it for the sake of doing it. Yeah, not a fan of that. I like the cartoon wins for this one for me too. And speaking of cartoons, I included that Justice League one because I knew that a lot of people would bring it up if I didn't mention it, but Ridleysaria brings up a cartoon that I did miss, which is the Flashpoint Paradox, where Aquaman loses yet again his arm in a completely different way. And I actually think it's his other arm. It might be his right arm instead of his left one. But yeah, I'm always gonna miss something from a cartoon. I just gotta work on that. You know, Framemaster, I think you're onto something. There could be a story there. Though after that whole experience, he might need to see a doctor of some kind. That'll be it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for joining and leaving some fantastic comments. I just wanted to apologize for missing a lot of Friday videos recently. There's been a whole lot of circumstances that have been completely out of our control. DK's computer crashed. He had to borrow his friends. He was in a car accident. There's a whole bunch of stuff that happened that prevented those videos from being made, but they're all legitimate reasons, I promise you. So just don't don't be angry at us. And if you're wondering why I've been in a t-shirt this whole time and not the usual button-up shirt, it's because I'm wearing a NerdSync shirt. This is our Batman, holy here we go again, Batman shirt, which is one of my favorites. If you didn't know, we sell t-shirts. Now you do. You can go to apparel.nerdsync.tv. Go check them out. We're having a big Cyber Monday sale right now with a whole bunch of our shirts as well as some other ones, and you can get shirts like this Mopee shirt, which is just a reference that nobody will understand, or this NerdSync shirt, which you can also pick up there, along with a couple variants and a brand new Batman Very Superman shirt, which you will recognize from our podcast. A lot of podcast references, so to all of you guys who just watched the videos, these mean nothing to you, most likely. But you should check out the podcast. We have great episodes, including the one that came out today featuring the guys from Boss Level 8, one of the funniest podcasts we've ever done. Please go check it out. There's gonna be a link in the description, or I think a card here. I don't know where YouTube puts them. And if you're watching this video without having first watched the Aquaman video, then you can go ahead and click right here to do so. It's about how Aquaman lost his arm in the comics and in the cartoons. You can also click right here for our previous comment response video if you want to do that for some reason. And if this is your first time hanging out with us here at NerdSync, make sure you hit that big sexy subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the new videos that we put out this week that talk about comics and explore them in a way that makes learning a little bit more fun. Once again, my name is Scott, and I will see you guys on Wednesday for another episode of Comic Misconceptions. See ya.